Hey everyone, this is Matthew from the Daily Trade. So I'm going to go over just a little bit about the best resources that, in my opinion, are the easiest and the best to use for options. And it's been an experience, and so I'm just going to go over what the resources I have and some that have been used by members and traders that we have in our Discord chat. So number one, we have the Tradingview application, and this is a lot. This has a lot of resource knowledge to it, and we use it a lot. A lot of our traders use it. It's meant for you to chart out your actual stocks. You can look at what other people are looking at, and you can see their ideas. Like right here, you have their ideas. You have more of what's going on in the market, and your overall pretty much just looking through at real time what's going on. So it's very useful to actually go through this, and I can show you just real quick. Let's say go with SPY. I'm just going to show you a chart real quick, and it's very simple to use. They also have some technicals, but you can't always rely on these technicals. It's not always the best thing to use. You always just want to do your due diligence and not get caught up in that. So we have this, and there's very easy charting tools on here that you can use and just start out with and start messing around with. And they also have screeners that you can set up for yourself down here. And these screeners, I don't personally use these screeners. I just go off what I already trade, and I'm not really trying to catch anything. I do more momentum trading and trying to find out what's going on in the market. So I don't really use the screeners, but you could design something to where you set up your own screener and filter it out. So that's something to look at, and personally, that's a personal preference as well. And every trader has their own personal preference as resources and everything that they use. So the combinations are endless, and it really depends on each person. So you can't really copy a person that trades, and you would just have to go over an experience. Is just something that comes with time, and that's where mistakes and everything comes with. But the resources are very useful. So this is one of them, the Tradingview, and I'll put that link in the description because there's a lot of ways you can use it. Like ourselves in the daily trade, we have our indicators that we have, and they're very helpful when it comes down to the actual volatility of a stock, and that's where you'll catch the price action of the trades. So like I can show you real quick. We have a couple on here. Like we have the calls, the puts on here, and this is obviously you can see that the price action is there. And let me turn it to the 15-minute real quick. So you can see that a call came in right here for SPY, and you could easily have caught it right here at the 321.90 mark. And it's just crazy because you can either use this for regular stocks or you can use this for options. So it's not all about options. And that's where the daily trade indicators come in. And so that's Tradingview. Let me move on because we got a couple of resources to go through. Options profit calculator. So this is a good resource that you can use. So if I expected SPY to move up, which is the S&P 500, I can go long call, which is bullish. And then I can, let me pull up SPY right here. And then I can select the option. Obviously, I want to pick which expiration I have. And then go in, and I want to pick what you're already at, which is the ask, and that's what you usually put. So go to the ask, and then you calculate it. And obviously, this is the dollar amount that you would get if it went up to this amount, and so forth. But you can't always go against this because volatility can change. Your theta, pretty much everything in the contract can change at the next day. So you can't really always go by this, but this is a good understanding of where you could be in the future and where you are currently. So it's pretty good to use, and your way of actually still doing your due diligence and not just following blindly on these and trying to find the best, but you are able to use this as another resource. Another one that I use monthly, not really daily or weekly, I usually check this once a month, is Option Alpha. I use Option Alpha as an easier way to look at earnings and which ones are actually going to be easier to play with. I also go with their toolbox, which I actually have is their watch list. And I use these more for longer term plays, which is would be calendar spreads. I love calendar spreads. Um, and so this is usually what I go into, and you can look at these because their IV ranks have to me proven to be actually worthy of using. So the IV ranks are pretty low here, and that means for American Airlines, you would get a calendar spread, and I usually get calendar spreads on these. I know the most that you can actually get on these IVs is like really high, close to the 90s. I haven't seen any above 90, but those are where the volatility comes in. And the low volatility, those are depending on if you want to get calendars, and they have different strategies on here that you can go by. But you can't always go by this. Remember, you have to go with what your charts say, what you are researching. It all comes down to yourself as a trader, knowing what you're going to be trading, knowing how you're going to use your resources. You have to utilize them in a way that's not going to affect you in the future and make mistakes. You can always test things out, yes, but you want to make sure that you are utilizing everything to the best of your ability and not against you. So let's see, stock trading tools. This one's Market Chameleon. I know a couple traders on here actually do use this. I don't use it personally. I never saw the need to. I use already a couple that that show me this. The Market Chameleon is another one that will show you screeners. So let's say pre-market data, after market data. They'll show you some earnings, which you can get in a lot of places. They'll show you some dividend stocks that you probably want to get into later on. So options and stocks, they'll show you a bunch of stuff. Obviously, your features, so your unusual option volume. That's pretty useful when it comes down to actually finding out where everyone's at in the market. So you want to probably tend to stay around this unusual option volume. And your screeners for order flow sentiment. That's kind of a big one as well. And screeners, stocks. And this is where the after hours trading comes in and pre-market trading, and it's pretty useful. So that's one to actually look at, and Market Chameleon is a good one to get into. Market Watch is a good one to actually stay with to actually keep up with the news. Obviously, like CNBC, Market Watch, any of these other market or Yahoo Finance, you can't always trust the news, right? Because sometimes the news will break out and you think, oh, China and Trump administration are having a good deal. So that's what it says on Market Watch and CNBC. So let me buy a call in the S&P 500 because the market's going to rally. Well, that's not always the case. In the news, something can be very good, yet the market can turn around on you. And that's why due diligence, again, is another big key factor when it comes down to trading. And then, so with that, back to Market Chameleon real quick, we had the unusual option volume. So in the daily trade, I can show you real quick what we actually have. And it's pretty useful when it comes down to checking what's going on in the market. Is like these. We have SPY calls that came in on Tuesday, and this was this week, which is January 2020, sorry. So this is what came in, and you can see that SPY calls came in, and this actually happened before a $2 run up on SPY at the end of the day. And these are very useful. So we have the SPY calls, we have MU calls here, DDOG calls. There's a bunch of stuff that's happening in the market, and these are big option flows. We also have unusual activity, which is right here, and it'll show you a lot of stuff that's going on in the market. And then equity signals. So equity signals is pretty much showing you who's buying what, how many, and how much is what are they buying it at. So like they bought SPY at $321, and they bought 250,000 of them for $81 million. And this is pretty much what we look at, and it's a great screener when it comes down to trading in the daily trade. And that's one of our resources. And lastly, our last resource would be yourself on your trading platform. And for me, my trading platform is Tastyworks. Let me go ahead and pull up Tastyworks real quick. So here's your Tastyworks right here. I use it and just looking, let's say I'm trading SPY, I'll just be looking at the price action, and while these prices are changing in numbers, I'll be able to go back and look at my charts and see, hey, this contract is gaining value while the market's staying steady. So possibly there could be a movement in either way, and that's where we actually want to see the price action. And that's where resources are very useful. So like you want to use multiple at a time, not just one and stick to that one. You want to use multiple at a time because it's going to improve your confirmation on everything. So with that, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please say so below. And description will add some links to Tradingview, Market Chameleon, Option Alpha, the options profit calculator, and our Discord chat as well. So for you to join and trade with us, and we're always here. We're always welcome to anybody that wants to ask questions. Please come by, and thank you for watching once again.